one of you guys? Oh, two of you.
Yeah.
I forget.
I remember you.
Hola,
Hola.
come on board.
Okay.
Do you guys mind if I film?
Well, our line handlers arrived the night before, so it's game on for this transit through the Panama Canal. My name is Rick, and over the last couple of years, I've single-handed my sailboat from San Diego to Panama. Now, I invite you to join my friend Dave and I as we take SV Frog's Leap through the Panama Canal before wrapping up Season 4 of Sailing Frog's Leap. Well, I called the Flamenco signal station at 9 o'clock the night before, after we had the line handlers on board, and they let me know that I'm going to be picking up the Canal Transit Advisor at 4:15, just outside of Playita Marina. So we got underway at 0400. Bringing on the advisor went smoothly, but I was uncomfortable with doing the personnel transfer while dead in the water. Frog's Leap tends to fall into the trough pretty quickly and starts rolling, which makes a DIW PAX transfer more dangerous. I'm much more comfortable conducting personnel transfers in some kind of lee, so I'd rather have about 2 to 3 knots on and then put whatever weather is present off the opposite quarter. Once we were beyond the Bridge of the Americas, we left the Panama City shipping terminal down our starboard side. As dawn was breaking, I was maintaining station outside of the Miraflores locks because I was going to be following this bulk cargo carrier, the Lem Gladiolus, through the first set of locks. And this is Edward. Edward was Frog's Leap's Panama Canal Transit Advisor. Vessels less than 65 feet get a transit advisor. If you're more than 65 feet, you get a pilot. Once the Lem Gladiolus was in her position in the locks, I began my approach. To tie off to the lock, the line handler on the lock throws a heaving line to Frog's Leap, and the line handlers on Frog's Leap use that heaving line as a messenger to send these blue heavy-duty mooring lines back to the lock. With the lock's doors closed, the lock operator opens a series of valves and water comes rushing into the lock to fill it up. I was surprised to learn that there are no pumps used to raise or lower the water level in these locks. The Miraflores locks consists of 2 chambers. Here, Frog's Leap has moved forward into the second chamber and the gates are closing. With the second chamber filled, it's time to move on from the Miraflores locks. Regardless of which direction you're going through the Panama Canal, you've got to go through 3 chambers going up 85 feet to Lake Gatun. And then on the other side, you've got to take 3 chambers down, the same 85 feet. Here we're being lifted through the last chamber up to Gatun Lake at the Pedro Miguel locks. When When these deep drafts are ready to go, boy, they can really throw some prop wash. So we kept those mooring lines attached until the deep draft was well clear. And then we got our first rain of the passage, and well, the agent required that we put up some kind of makeshift awning here, and we took a blue tarp and tied it off just for this reason. Luckily, the rain didn't last too long. Now it was time to prepare breakfast for the crew. Luckily, my friend Dave is an experienced camper, and he had no problem filling the bellies of everyone on board with some scrambled eggs and sausage, while I kept my hands on the wheel. The red and green buoys switch sides at the Pedro Miguel locks. So my tasking was to stay as close to the green side as possible to give maximum clearance for the deep drafts to overtake me on my port side. Despite hugging the green side super close, I never saw depths less than 50 feet. As we pushed deeper into Lake Gatun, the crew enjoyed ham sandwiches for lunch. And another blast of rain. Well, some yachts that can make enough speed can get through the canal in one day. Frog's Leap with her 16 horsepower Yanmar You know, I was going 2,500 RPM and making a little over 5, which I thought was pretty good, but it wasn't good enough to avoid spending the night at Lake Gatun on this mooring buoy.
Tú corres la soga según el lugar donde está la boya. Little reverse.
Reverse easy. Reverse, salimos.
Jala, jala. Jala tú. Yo estoy bien ya. Qué olota, vivo muriendo la olota.
No vale, usted da que pase la bala.
Once we were tied off to the mooring buoy, we offloaded our canal transit advisor and settled in for the evening.
Thank you, Edward.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm really good.
And if you have to spend the night at Lake Gatun, you know, there's no guarantee you're going to get the same transit advisor the next day. Well, we were lucky. We got to reunite the crew. Edward came back on for day 2, which was cool because we had an awesome chemistry in day 1. And, you know, you want to keep it going, man. Yeah, not only did we get Edward back, but we got to benefit from a little goodwill from the pilot boat here. They're giving us some ice. Well, we had an ice box, but that overnight, it was pretty much toast. So having a little extra ice on board, wow, that was great. Oh, I'm so thankful. I had such great line handlers. That's Guti there, handing the ice bucket back to the pilot boat, and Jose is handing the cooler to Mario. Yeah, between Mario and Guti and Jose, woo, we had an amazing team of line handlers. So thankful. And then you consider with Edward, I mean, wow. We had the dream team, man.
Coming from South 4. Carlos Évora, coming from South 12.
Ready?
Well, Frog's Leap was a little ahead of schedule today. Yeah, the deep drafts are not waiting on us today. So we got here early, so we tied off to the wall here to wait. Then we'll go in ahead of the deep draft through these 3 different chambers of Gatun locks. Yeah, check this out. This boat's going the other way through Gatun locks.
I think we're about ready to go through the last part of the canal.
Gatun locks. We're going down in elevation now.
Going down to the Atlantic.
So we got tied off all the way forward in the first chamber and waited for the deep draft to come in behind us. And then we rode the elevator down. Here, the water level has already started beginning to fall in the second chamber of Gatun locks. Once the chamber is emptied, the doors open to reveal the third and final chamber of the Gatun locks. Ready in the third chamber now, and in what seems like a blink of an eye, the doors are opening from the third chamber, Frog's Leap's portal to the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean.
And with the opening of these doors, this is the last lock. We can now see the Caribbean Sea in front of us. And just wanted to thank Rick and Frog's Leap for letting me be a part of this adventure. It's been an amazing experience. Rick, you just went through the Panama Canal.
I'm going to Disneyland.
Going into this turning basin here on the north end of the Panama Canal. We've got two big deep drafts outbound. I gotta give them some space, and I have to disembark the advisor. So we're gonna go here. It's a little calmer inside of this turning basin. It should be easier and safer for this.
Well, thank you, Edward. It was really my honor to spend these last couple of days underway with you here in the Panama Canal. Oh yeah, and the crew starts getting a little more talkative, and the talk moves to dance. Oh yeah, Channel Fever is setting in. We're headed to Shelter Bay Marina, and the sun is starting to set, and you can feel dusk is coming on. Oh yeah, look at this. This is a retired Coast Guard cutter. It's a retired Coast Guard 82-footer. Actually did a little research. This is actually the former Coast Guard cutter Swift, operated out of Florida. Well, it's all mangroves off to port, and that's where the shallow water is. So you're going to see I'm going to be hugging the ends of these piers. Thank you guys, all of you. Guti, Dave, Jose, Mario. What a fine crew. Don't miss next week's episode of Sailing Frogs Leap. Dave and I, we're going to explore Shelter Bay Marina.